The idea to make Hot Pursuit 2 came from the fans out there. There was an overwhelming pent-up demand that we've listened to that said we want the next Need for Speed, so we did it.
The features that set Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2 apart from all the other racing titles are the lineup of exotic cars, the sense of speed, the cops, the sense of adrenaline and excitement. It is one of the fastest, if not the fastest, racing game out there.
The level of detail in our game is pretty impressive at this point. What we try to do in this game is to take it one step further. Every one of the cars is built like it would be in real life. Each of the panels is separate, each of the lights is separate. There's an interior, there's an engine, there's a trunk.
The way we created the cars was probably the most basic of modeling techniques. We would take 4 planes and map each plane with a side, top, back, and front view. The reason why we chose this method is that a lot of the cars were not introduced to the market until this year, and the only reference we had were photographs.
I'd say the biggest feature of all the tracks as a whole are the multiple paths and the ability to use multiple paths, and in some cases almost drive anywhere you can possibly drive within a track. A lot of other racing games kind of keep a person confined to a wall structure. We tried to let people go as far as possible, making as many things in the environment as interactive as possible as well, which was probably the toughest part about making these tracks.
Traditionally, Need for Speed has had more open road environments versus closed road or circuit type of environments. Well, this actually gives us a lot of freedom to add shortcuts, to add jumps.
What Need for Speed does is it really lives up to the name of the brand, which is the Need for Speed. One of the new things that we created for Hot Pursuit 2 this year was event trees, and instead of just having a bunch of tracks that you can go to and race different cars in different classes, what we really tried to do is give you different events with different varieties of cars and classes and different challenges.
We have 2 of these event trees with more than 30 events in each one that allow the game player to either race with cops or race against each other in pure racing without having to have cops there.
As you become better as a player, we start to throw bigger and tougher challenges at you that make it a little bit harder for you to be successful.
It's really a competitive method to win the game and collect all the great prizes.
Track design usually starts from producers level. They come to us, they give us requirements on what exactly the track they want us to design. They define a location, they define length, difficulty, and that all determines pretty much how the track is laid out.
A lot of special effects we're using to make the cars look more real are something you're going to see in every time you play the game, like the environmental reflection. As you drive through a forest, you see the trees rolling over the top of your car, or as a person walks by, you see that in the side.
The mid-mapping was a tough one, but we came up with an excellent set of tools that allowed us to do the mid-mapping, which basically smooths the textures out over distance so that they don't seem as shimmery in the distance.
The inspiration for the new zone cameras was to create a movie-like atmosphere while driving in the game. It allows the user to do a 360-degree turn when they jump over a hill, or if they're just racing with a buddy, and they can really get a good sense of what's happening. And at the same time get that opportunity to react and make a change to the direction of their driving.
Video games are very close to making movies these days. We've used consultants for cops, we've used consultants for lighting, special effects, visual effects, sound design. All the disciplines that go up into making one of these games bring out the best for the product. One in particular that we used was a guy named Gary Hines. He's a champion racer and a Hollywood stunt director. He came in and helped us out with a lot of the different camera angles, but also one of the most significant areas he helped us out with is the racing aspect. He took us through Racing 101, showed us the proper speed lines, showed us the complementary lines, allowed us to set up the AI, the drafting, all the elements that go into open road racing.
Some of the cooler cars in the game are the Porsche Carrera GT, the Ferrari 360 Spider, the Porsche 911 Turbo, the Ferrari 360 Modena Challenge, and the McLarens and the Vipers.
My favorite car is the Lamborghini Diablo. The reason why I like the Lamborghini Diablo is just because it's a very aggressive looking car. That is one car I wish I owned though, one day maybe.
My favorite cars to drive in the game? It's so hard to tell. There's so many favorites. But I suppose if I could pick out 2 favorites, they would be the Ferrari 360 Spider. That car is cool. There's one even better experience, and that is racing the fastest car in the game, the McLaren F1. It can go 240 miles an hour, and you can get it up to that speed on some of the tracks in some places. That's what Need for Speed's all about. That car represents the epitome of what a Need for Speed game is.
The most exciting part of Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2 has got to be the police chases. Driving down the windy road and having 3 or 4 cops on your tail, knowing that there's a speed block coming up, knowing that there's a spike strip in the road, trying to navigate the best line and avoid all the obstacles makes for a really adrenaline-filled, sort of edge-of-your-seat race.
I think the music fits the whole concept great. It's the energy of it. It's just driving around like a lunatic and having a ball. Fits perfect. I definitely see a really cool trend for music to be integrated with video games. I think it is a terrific way, a terrific platform to get bands out into the public, especially because the main listening group for music are kids. Kids love video games. It's brilliant, it really is. Doing the motion capture for this was a lot of fun. You know, doing something like this, we get all the attention of a lot of cool, friendly people that know what they're doing. It's just great. You move it right along. It's a cool environment. It's terrific. I'm excited about it.
Most of us had been consumers of Need for Speed until we actually got to work on Need for Speed. So we got to take the Need for Speed we got to take it to the level that we wanted to take it to, being consumers of the product.
The most fun part of making Hot Pursuit 2 has been the interaction with the people. You have the most incredible, committed, feisty game players that you'll ever run into. You have these people that they want to make the game for themselves.
31 County.
I copy 31.
Turning on the speeder that just flew by me.